Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video,
I can go without you, but it's like for so long I can't. But like I'm saying, you thought we was just gonna be hanging out for months, and like I was just gonna be taking you on dates and shit. Like I wasn't gonna get nothing out of that.
oh,
That's what you thought.
I guess, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a couple of weeks ago, there was a video that I posted about women coming to the realization that they are being lasted over and not loved, right? So because of that video, I decided to add this one because the truth of the matter is I want a lot of women to wake up and realize that most of the times dating, relationships, marriages, this is what this is all about. All right. To most men, they are looking for who is going to give them what they want. You know, most of these men just want a woman who is going to do what they want or give them what they want ASAP. And that's what this is all about. So the sooner you take your head out of the cloud and stop believing all this fairy tale, the better for you. And I found videos and also women talking about why being flown out is also a way for men to get smacks from women, because it's not like they do care about you, but it's just a means to an end. It depends on their socio-economic level. Most of the times, if they have the money to fly you out, they will fly you out. If they don't have the money, they may take you on a date. But spending $120 and expecting something at the end of the night is crazy. He said it's a joke, but hey, that's the reality for most women when they go dating. Yeah, and that also explains why most of them become so furious about paying for the date, because they are not going to get anything out of it, because most of them are transactional, right? They don't understand why they should be the one paying when you are coming to eat, right? So if they are paying, they should be getting something at the end of the night.
Bro, straight people really treat dating like prostitution. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I just saw a TikTok on my For You page of this girl talking about, I guess there's a debate or something about the concept of being flown out, like a guy flying you out of the country or out of your city or whatever. There was basically a whole debate about whether if a guy does that for you, he should expect from you. And the girl in the video was basically saying, well, there's no way I'd let a guy do something like that for me if I'm not going to be on that. And to me, when I heard that, it just gave Conquered. Like, anyone who's a regular on my account, you man already know Conquered has become my favorite word, because it genuinely, like, that is what everybody gives at this point. It gives Conquered so bad, because this is the standard, this is the precedent that has been set at this point. I remember I'd even seen another TikTok on my account where this guy was making a joke over TikTok about how he spent like over $150 or whatever on like a date night, and he was basically complaining about how he didn't get anything sexual in return from the girl he went on a date with. And genuinely, I think it is because of the fact that men literally view dating as prostitution. Like, they genuinely see it as that, to the point where now they will expect, oh, if I do this for you, you need to give me something in return. And I'm not saying that engaging or interacting with people isn't transactional to a certain extent, because obviously you have to, you know, equally give and receive, right, in order to create a balance. But off the bat, to expect that someone should engage with you sexually just because you are doing them gestures, that to me just sounds like prostitution, isn't, without you paying the person. Because in reality, you are saying, I'll do this stuff for you, and then you give sex. And the thing to me as well, because some people will be like, well, if that's the case, why don't some men just go to sex workers and go get what they need to get? The reason why they don't do that is because men enjoy the activity of conquering. They like the idea of getting a girl who initially was not looking to do any type of thing with him to engage with him in this kind of way. They enjoy being able to make you bend your morals and your principles. They enjoy doing that. They enjoy being able to change you or switch you. That is why they will not just go to worker and go pay for what they need. Probably also because some of them don't have enough money for that. The fun and enjoyment for them is in the activity of being able to switch you, to be able to get you to change your standards and your principles. And I genuinely think it has gotten so bad to the point that there are women now who have convinced themselves that they are just fine with this, that, this is just the standard, this is the norm. You know, I'm going to need a guy to do X, Y, and Z for me before I give up the pum-pum. And it's like, these people will say these things and you genuinely do not hear how what you're doing literally sounds like work. And again, I'm not even saying that this TikTok, your takeaway should not be that I'm saying, oh, you guys are basically doing work and, I'm judging you heavy because of that. No. I'm helping you take off the rose-tinted glasses because I think a lot of you have actually convinced yourself that you're fine with this way of life, but you're really not. Nobody who respects you would be treating dating you like prostitution. Like, I'm sorry, but this shit is just not normal.
I can go without fuck you, but it's like for so long I can't. But like I'm saying, you thought we was just gonna be hanging out for months, and like I was just gonna be taking on dates and shit. Like I wasn't gonna get nothing of that. That's what you thought.
I guess. Like, I don't know.
It's y'all in the comments talking about, why don't they just hire an ex worker? It's easier to hire an ex worker. Hello? Y'all are ex workers, babe. You are the worker. The dinner is your payment. And the sooner y'all get that through y'all's heads, the better off y'all will be. He feels like he's paid her in food. Now she needs to hold up her end of the bargain. And this is why I said in my last video, y'all look so stupid, constantly getting online and harassing women who are quote unquote selling it because they only entertain men who actually have something to offer them. They view y'all the same way they view them because in their mind, you're all selling it and everything is transactional. But y'all think y'all are different because y'all go about it in a roundabout way and you're not outright setting a price. Meanwhile, they're calculating in their heads, okay, if I take her out on a date or 2 or 3, she'll put out and I'll get a return on my investment. This is what they're thinking. In another video, this girl basically said, with these dudes, you just need to be straight up. Some dude was texting me, asking to take me out on a date. And I told him, oh, I'm not going to, and he stopped texting her. This is what they're saying. What's the point of spending time and money on you if you're not going to sleep with them? What's the point of feeding you if they're not going to get to have sex with you? But then when y'all see women who get bags and houses and cars, y'all dummies are in the comment section talking about, oh, but he wanted something. He didn't give that to her for nothing. He wanted something. Hello? They all want something. Wake up. Wake the hell up. It's much cheaper to hire y'all than it is to hire the really real S workers. Because a lot of y'all don't know this, but the real S workers, not the women who date men who give them things that y'all love to call S workers. I mean the really real S workers that have a set price, a menu, and say, meet me at this hotel at this time. They charge a pretty penny. And obviously, I'm not talking about the women who do it out of desperation. I'm talking about the ones who really do it and get to that bag. There's one on here, I think her name is like Blue-Eyed Kayla Jade or something. Y'all, she charged like $1,500 an hour. Y'all. These dudes aren't trying to pay $1,500. They barely have $1,500 to pay their rent, let alone $1,500 to spare. But what they do have is $50 to take you to the Chili's. Everything for them is transactional. So y'all better wake the hell up and start treating these dudes accordingly if you're still going to be dealing with them.
A conversation that will always be hilarious to me is when people try to convince me that relationships are not transactional. And for the men that look like God submitted them at 11:59 for a 12 o'clock deadline that always have the most to say about women, it has only been highlighted as transactional when women started asking for something in return. Because if you knew anything about history, it was always transactional, just that women did not ask for anything in return. We were just brainwashed participants. And now that women are no longer sitting back and allowing men to do what they want to them and have nothing in return, it's all of a sudden, oh, relationships are not transactional. Silk brain that only operates when inconvenience enter the chat for you personally. As long as capitalism exists, relationships will always be transactional.
A plane ticket does not equal validation either, okay? Because people can rack up free frequent flyer miles on their credit card. They might have a business account where they can write it off on taxes.
You can't fly me out if I don't know you. And you definitely cannot fly me out if I don't know you and it's a first date. I'm the only person that thinks that getting flown out for a first date is giving mail order cat. It's giving call out charge. And just to be clear, I'm not shaming people who do that kind of work, but that's not my line of business. So if a guy approaches me with that energy, I know what he's looking for and immediately he's blocked. It's actually a very dangerous situation to put yourself in, traveling to a different country with someone that you don't know. It can actually put you in a very vulnerable position and it leaves you open to a lot of disrespect. I've seen a lot of people get disrespected and I've always wondered, like, why would you be so desperate for an experience? Why would you be so desperate to go to a country? Sometimes in some cases, it's a country they've already been to. It's an experience they've already had. So I just don't get why you're so desperate for it. I've seen people get flown out and then the guy leaves them to put the deposit on the hotel. I've seen girls get flown out and then the guy's like telling his friends, oh, she doesn't look the same now that she's here. I've seen girls flown out and then the guy puts them in one mad janky hotel. I've seen girls flown out for a first date and the guy hasn't got them a separate room. He expects them to share a room and they weren't expecting that. And I don't understand how you cannot be expecting that when you don't know the person. How can you have expectations of a person that you don't know? And if you're desperate enough to come all the way to a different country just for the chance to get to know this guy, right? Of course he's going to assume that you're, okay with certain things happening. and you're desperate enough to do those things in exchange for that experience.
The first thing I want you to think about is, what type of items do you like to get delivered to you? Sometimes people will buy a puppy and have it shipped to them via air. I will order something online and have it shipped to me. I pay for things to come to me for convenience. Do you think that you are the first woman that he's flown out? Do you care? Is he really doing something special for you by flying you out? Because a man that has money to fly you out probably has enough disposable income to not miss that money in flying you out. So while it may be cool for you and make you feel some kind of way that someone is willing to spend that kind of money to see you, that kind of money relative to the money that they have may just be a drop in the bucket that they will never miss. When you go to dinner with a man and you go home right after, we have seen video after video after video and thread after thread after thread of men saying that they are disappointed. They're mad because they didn't get any ROI on their investment being taking you to dinner. So I want you to think very carefully about what type of ROI is going to be expected when you're getting flown across the country. Effectively, he's willing to pay a convenience fee for you to be inconvenienced. Do you have to take off work? Do you have to pay for the Uber? Do you have to get a sitter of any kind? What is this really going to cost you in relation to what it's going to cost him? And you might be saying to yourself, no, he really likes me. Does he? When was the last time you've seen him? Have you ever met him? If you've seen him before, he's not willing to come to you, but he's fine with you coming to him. And if you've never seen him before, why is a stranger on the internet willing to pay so much money for you to come see them? And I digress back to all of my previous points. I have been offered to be flown out before, and I've always said no. And the only time that I've seriously considered it was when it was a man who I had met in person and we'd gone out on a date. And he offered for me to come visit him, and he was willing to fly me out to come see him. But my thought was, well, if you're that into me, why wouldn't you be being a gentleman and offering to come see me? Why do I have to come to you as a woman? Especially if we're going to get a long distance thing going, the man should be coming to you first, right? I've already been there. I saw you on your ground. I didn't go there just to see him. I actually was in town for something else. But I personally will not trade my standard self-respect and dignity in joining a group of women who this man has flown out. So don't be like all the rest. Make him come to you. That's an indicator that you're special. And of course, all of this is secondary to the safety issues that are posed when you are on someone else's territory. If you are going, you better have a backup plan, and you better have your own money to pay for your own Ubers and your own hotels and your own foods and your own flight home should you need it.
Playing stupid games will get you stupid prizes. I have a good history of being flued out. So here are my 5 rules. And you might not have a mom or sister or a friend who can give you this knowledge. So this is just basic rules. If a man is truly interested in you, I think he should fly out to you first. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think you should ever be making anything easy for a man. That's just delivering him free, whatever you're giving him. Maybe just energy, but anyway. Number 2, please do not fly out if you are desperate. You're financially suffering and you can't stand on business, meaning that you can't enforce boundaries, because you never know how the situation can end up and you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage. If you're going in somewhere with loss or lack, it's just going to make your experience way worse. Number 3 really doesn't matter, because most times when you tell a man something, it's in one ear and out the other. But you should always say everything. Put everything on the table so someone can never say, well, you never said that. Make sure that you make it known. If you want your own hotel room, say, I want my own hotel room. If you want to have a full itinerary, make sure they have a full itinerary. Everybody's standards and expectations are different, so I can't tell you exactly what those are. You decide that for yourself and you make that known, okay? Number 4 is really the most important. It should really be number 1. There is too much 304 talking, kept girlfriend, kept wife content up on here for y'all not to know. Get that money up front. Always. If that man has no history of reimbursing you, why would you just let a random person tell you, yeah, I'm gonna reimburse you, if they've never done that for you before? Why would you trust them to do that? This is a stranger. We have no trust in a stranger. That money must be upfront at all times. You have them send you the money for the flight, for the hotel. Book it all in your name, because a man can cancel your flight, he can cancel your hotel, but if he gives you the money for it, he can't do any of those things, right? Right. And number 5, this is also a very, very important part. You must be willing to walk away at any time. If they're not meeting your standards, your expectations, they're disrespecting you, that you have to be able to walk away. You cannot like the person that much more than you like your own self. Okay? And the honorable mention, safety is important, so just make sure that you have someone that you love and you trust, and make sure that you give them your location.
Stop dating men that think that taking you on a date is tricking, and that if he takes you on a date, that means that you owe him some ass afterwards. I have met men that thought that taking a woman on a date was tricking. They don't even believe in courting a woman. You supposed to take a woman on a date, homie. The date is for seeing how y'all vibe together in person, getting to know each other a little bit more. It don't equate to y'all having sex afterwards. Now, we grown. If y'all decide to have sex afterwards, cool. But that ain't what that date for. Now, as a woman, if you want to give it up, cool. If him spending money on you and getting you up out of your house and taking you out means that you have to, if that's how it is in your head, by all means, open your legs for him. But to the women who know that they're worth more than a $50 meal at a restaurant, I'm talking to you.
Real quick, this little topic on Twitter about a woman being flown out by a man and her not wanting to give him intimacy is not only showing that a lot of you don't understand how consent works, comprehensive consent works, but it's also showing that a lot of you don't believe a man can be nice to a woman unless you're trying to get something out of her. Now, I understand for safety reasons, some women don't accept gifts from men because a lot of men have tried to use gifts as like leverage to get something out of her. But to the men that say things like, oh, give me a chance, give men a chance, not all of us are bad, a lot of you are showing your asses. Not only is she being vulnerable with you and giving you a chance by letting you take her to a place that's foreign, place that's like new to her, right? And you have all the control. But a lot of you are showing her that because you paid for this, she no longer makes any more decisions. A lot of you are saying that your money is more important than her body and her voice. And for some reason, I don't see how that's literally saying that you're not a good guy. I just need y'all to think a little bit longer past your initial thoughts.
Okay, and with a lot of guys, they can have a lot of women on rotation, and you will not know. This is the regular 9 to 5 for them, all right? If they have a bit of money, flying you out is nothing because they've been flying a lot of people out. But I think, oh, I'm so special, he flew me out, or he's flying me out on a first day to this place, when in actual fact, you're just one of many, all right? And I'm not saying all men are like that. Some of them do want to get to know you. Some of them will book a separate room for you, so they will get to know you because they want, to be around you. They are not coming there for sex, but most of them at the back of their mind, they are thinking at the end of it, this is what they are going to get. Yes, because when you think about it deeply, if he flies you out and he's not going out of his way to book a different room for you to stay in, and you're supposed to share the same room with him, what do you think is going to happen? Right? And besides, that room, he paid it for himself. He paid for it for himself. Okay? All he has to do is get your flight for you to get there. Right? And then you come there and you're thinking you're so special. You need to stop thinking like that. You need to start looking into these things deeply. All right? It's not what you think it is. Stop making things up in your mind and believe in it. It's not true. Because on the other side, these men are being strategic. They are being calculated about this whole situation. If you make yourself available, my dear, they are going to use you. All right? So you also, if you want to date and you're looking for a boyfriend, a husband, whatever, please be strategic. Do something or go into it with a plan in place of how you want it to work out for you. If not, you're going to be used by a lot of men, all right? And they're going to call you run through. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. And I'm going to see you again in another video. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.